This video is sponsored by Warner Bros. Interactive. After you're done watching this video, you can click the link in my description to play Multiversus for free, with full cross-play and cross-progression across PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. But now, enjoy.
Tuesday, July 26th. The city is excited because a new game is coming to town. One with everyone's favorite Warner Bros. Characters, including me.
This song's copyrighted.
I've fought some of these people before and brought fear into their eyes. But some are so powerful, even I'm afraid. The man who won't stop saying zoinks. He's said to be more powerful than Superman himself. He has to be stopped at all costs.
Yo, this, that, quarter life, crisis over borderline, trauma that control my life, more than I control my life, damn near mortified, I just got demoralized, I don't know my purpose, so I might as well enjoy the ride, yo.
Multiversus is an all-new free-to-play platform fighter featuring team-based matchups, but with Warner Bros. Characters as the fighters. And Warner Bros. Has the rights to a lot of cool IP, ranging from classics like Looney Tunes to modern favorites like Steven Universe. The list of things that they have the rights to is so big that listing them all would be kind of insane. So if you ever saw Space Jam 2, everything that showed up to that final basketball game, yeah, that's all Warner Bros. IP. So like most platform fighters, the object of the game is simple. You rack up a ton of damage onto your opponent, and once they have enough damage, you just whack them off the stage and into the blast zones. And if you've played any other platform fighter, it'll feel very familiar, but it does have a lot of unique traits to it. So I really want to hone in and focus on these unique traits, starting with... Obviously, what sets this game apart is its unique cast. Warner Bros. Did not pull any punches here. You have characters from kids' cartoons, or even the gruesome rated R shows like Game of Thrones. There's some deep cuts and even some original creations, but they all play quite differently and have their own unique flair and style to them. So I'm gonna quickly go over each character and briefly explain how they play right now. Arya Stark. She is a close-range sword fighter with a lot of neat tricks up her sleeve. Tom and Jerry. They're stronger when they're together, and it's a tragedy when Jerry dies. Finn the Human. He plays more like a classic sword fighter with a really cool coin mechanic where you can buy things to become stronger. Like BMO. Garnet. She's like a heavy brawler type character. Batman.
It's Batman, what do you expect?
Harley Quinn. She has a lot of toys and traps that make her really annoying to approach. The Iron Giant. He is humongous. Jake the dog. He's got them Dalsim stretchy arms, you know? His whole thing is that he just transforms everywhere. Rain Dog. An original character. It's pretty damn cute. I feel like it would be a good plushie. I see what you're doing, Warner Brothers. Bugs Bunny. Similar to Tom and Jerry, has a bunch of traps and a lot of range in his arsenal. Steven Universe. A more defensive character that makes platforms in space. Superman. He's like Batman but flies around, and his punches hurt a little harder. Taz, the Tasmanian Devil. He plays super close range, and you do not want to be turned into a chicken. Velma. Kind of the weirdest character in this whole roster. None of her moves are like fighting moves. She attacks with science and words. I guess you could call them fighting words. Wonder Woman. Also a classic sword fighter, but plays a little more defensive. And last, but certainly not least, we have Shaggy. Shaggy just embraces the Ultra Instinct meme and goes full Super Saiyan. It's hilarious. And at the moment, he's my favorite character to play. So you'll notice that all these characters have different roles, whether it be tank or support or mage, and they're defined by their movement, whether it be horizontal, vertical, or a mixture of both. All of this is important in the 1v1 scenarios, but what sets Multiversus apart from other platform fighters is that it really focuses on the doubles mechanic. Multiversus really wants you to play 2v2. I mean, it says it's recommended, so it must be true. And a lot of these characters have team synergy. And some characters are just built for 2v2, which is why the roles matter. You want to make sure that you and your teammate are filling in each other's weaknesses. And one of the best ways that you can do that is with the perks mechanic. Before you begin a fight, you can select perks that can give you slight boosts or completely change the way your character plays. The higher you level up your character, the more perks you'll unlock for them. And as you climb higher and higher in these levels, you'll get a ton of perk options. The coolest part is that if you and your teammate have the same perk, they stack and become even stronger. So while the characters are built for 2v2, 1v1s still feel pretty fresh and solid in this game as well. And there are maps for both game modes. The maps are designed after a couple characters, and they range in size. If you're playing 1v1s, you'll get smaller smaller maps. If you're playing 2v2s, you'll get bigger maps. The way you fight in the game is very similar to platform fighters. You'll have your normal attacks that can all be charged up to become even stronger. You also have normal attacks in the air, and each character has a ton of special moves. Unlike other platform fighters though, you're allowed to use multiple special moves in the air and a few dodges as well, making movement in this game feel very fluid and fast-paced. There's also no ledge. However, every single character can kind of latch onto the wall and use that as a means to get back on the stage. In this game, walls are your best friend. So while recovering in this game does feel a lot easier than other games, it doesn't mean I'm not gonna spike you, you noob. There's also no shielding in this game. However, you can dodge in any direction, spot dodge, and air dodge. So it's not like you can't do anything if people are attacking you. But once you get the hang of the game, you can start comboing people with ease and landing some sweet knockouts. Most of the cast in this game has the ability to create a status condition onto an enemy, whether it be weakened, or ignited, or frozen, or slowed down, or turned into a freaking chicken. I told you about this earlier, it's crazy. These extra statuses can help you win fights a lot easier, so knowing how to use them is key to your victory. So that's Multiversus in a big nutshell. But just because Warner Brothers sponsored me on this video doesn't mean I'm not gonna give my list of pros and cons. It's still my duty to inform you what is good and bad about every game. So let's start with the... I absolutely love that all the original voice actors, with the exception of Vin Diesel, came back to reprise their roles in this game. You got Macy Williams as Arya Stark.
Nothing isn't better or worse than anything.
You got Estelle as Garnet. You got the boy Matthew Lillard as Shaggy. Come on! It's amazing. And the cool part is each of these characters have individual interactions with each other because it's a team-based game. So of course they would interact on the same team. And they also interact if they're against each other. So many extra voice lines. Aesthetically, I love the art style. I love that Batman, the Iron Giant, Shaggy, and Bugs Bunny are all in the same art style that just fits. Like they all could be in the same universe. It's pretty difficult to pull off, but they do it very well. Kudos to the artists. I mentioned it before, but the movement in this game does feel very fluid. I never feel like I can't get back on the stage, unless of course I get knocked out. And on top of that, the controls are pretty simple. The entire character roster to me is very cool, and it just gets me excited for the future of this game when it comes to the characters that they can add. You can get the Joker from DC. You can get more Game of Thrones characters like the Hound or Jon Snow. We could probably see Rick and Morty. And if they have rights to more Cartoon Network characters, we can get Samurai Jack, Ben 10. The list goes on and on and on. Already I can see a bunch of fan speculation, and I can't wait to just watch trailers for new characters dropping. If I had one request though, for me, it's gotta be my boy LeBron James from Space Jam. I'm kidding.
Time for the main event.
Wait, he's in the game already? What? I'm also a big fan of this game being free to play. And on top of that, it's cross-platform. That's a huge bonus. So finding people to play with is gonna be really easy in this game. And while the stage list is very small because, you know, they all feel very fun and unique while still being very good for competitive. And there will be a competitive scene in this game. And once ranked is finally here, you bet I'm gonna try to get to the highest rank with my boy Shaggy. So while I do like that it's free to play, I do find it a little tedious with how long it takes to unlock individual characters. The only reason why I have all the characters is that I bought the deluxe version, which was $60, and you don't have to buy the deluxe version to get all the characters. But my point is, if you don't want to spend any money and still play all the characters, it's gonna take a long time because gold takes forever to get. And what's a little bit frustrating is that some characters are worth more than others. The Iron Giant was 3,000 gold, while Garnet is 1,500, and Batman's 2,000. I don't like these arbitrary numbers, just make them all the same. It feels like some characters are given more weight than others, for kind of no reason. And on top of that, the paid currency in this game is Gleamium, and while it's not too expensive, some of the skins feel a little overpriced, like 1,600 Gleamium for just one skin for one character. But I understand, most people end up one-tricking one character anyway, so just buying that one main cosmetic may still be worth it for you. But I'm more of a jack of all trades, and I like having cool cosmetics on most, if not all of my characters. My last issue is that when you're fighting, sometimes some of the moves don't feel like they're as strong as they're supposed to be. Some are way weaker than they actually look. It's hard to explain, but sometimes you hit somebody and then out of nowhere they die and you're like, oh, that happened. And other times you hit somebody really hard and it barely moves them at all. That's more of like an animation issue, but it does make the game feel a little clunky at times when you're fighting. This is probably the one thing that they can't really fix because, like I said, it's a whole animation change they'd have to do. But in the future, when they make new characters, I hope they make sure that hitting somebody with them feels correct. If it's a weak hit, it's a weak hit, and if it's a strong hit, it's a strong hit, and it looks that way. My fighting game fans know what I'm talking about. Overall, Multiversus is a pretty fun platform fighter. There's a lot here to love with a ton of different characters, and if you're watching this video as it came out, that means Multiversus Open Beta is out right now. So give it a shot and let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Once again, thank you so much to Multiversus for sponsoring this video. I genuinely enjoy this game, so getting sponsored by them is awesome. Okay, I see a bat signal in the sky, so I gotta get out of here.
So, I'll catch you later. Ya noob.